Hey, this is Nikki with the Sauce, and today we will be doing another romantic relationship forum. Our forum is on toxic romantic situationship, history, and unsure how to heal. Username is Working West Side. Our first forum was on this subject. We did the first situation. This is the second situation. And our user states, a case of sexual coercion. I was 19 and thought he was 25. We met frequently for 3 years, but something started to feel off, so I stopped it. We did text and call each other for a bit afterwards. He lied about his age, major life events, the age of his dog, hair color, and even consistently altered the pitch of his voice for the full 3 years, and I didn't find out until earlier this year. He's 42. 42. Ever since I finally found out his true identity, I no longer trust my own decisions. I hate the thought of anyone touching my body and shower in the dark. I hate everything about myself, for one, enjoying the time we had together, and two, being naive enough to believe him for so many years. He still texts me, telling me he's sorry and how much he cares. I called him a creep, rapist, predator, and monster, and the monster still doesn't understand how terrible he is. So that's the end of that situation, part 2. I think the takeaway from this situation is that maybe you should really get to know people. Within 3 years, that's 3 birthdays. More than likely, if this girl was able to go to around his family or to a birthday event with people that he knows, unless he literally has no family, she would have figured out his age. Somebody would have said it, or she would have figured it out on his birthday when the people that love him, who see and know him as being his right age, as being 39 or 42, would have been singing happy birthday, and basically put out there his age. But sadly, this guy probably strategically kept her away from people who know him because he was obviously trying to build the illusion to this 19-year-old that he was 25, when in reality he was 39 to 42. Before or after that 3 years, give or take. So yeah, as a younger person dating, just know that, especially as a woman, there's a lot of guys who will sell you a whole dream, especially older men. For some men, when they haven't gotten to a place where they have bragging rights in their life, especially after a certain age, where they can't necessarily buy your affection or flatter you by being flashy and having stuff to offer you, like gifts or shopping trips and things that they like to do now that they consider, meaningful and makes them of value as a man. Some will stoop to the level of just pretending to be at a younger age because there's less expectation on a 25-year-old to have their things together and to have access to things to offer to you as a woman, versus what society places on someone who is in their late 30s to early 40s. And you being this young girl being 18, 19, 20, she basically just kind of got played by somebody who ran game on her, what we would call game. She had game ran on her. And it's not fair. It's not moral. It's not right. It is sexual coercion. But sadly, in our society, there are a lot of people that will do that and are deceitful and manipulative in order to get what it is that they want. His objective obviously was to have sexual access to this person, and therefore, in order to get that access, he had to pretend to be closer in age to her in order for her to feel more comfortable with giving him that access or to build a relationship. And so that's what he did. Yeah. But also the red flags. Anytime someone's lying about hair color, the age of a dog and all that, this guy probably was a narcissist and just probably was an unnecessary liar too. Some people are unnecessary liars, Who's to say or not to say that this young woman would have felt comfortable even with the older guy at 19 or 20 or whatever, despite what people say is right or wrong, or I'm not going to get into all that. But the fact that this person had to lie, you know, I mean, that just says a lot. You shouldn't have to lie to get what you want. You know what I mean? Especially when you're lying to someone you know has less intelligence or is younger than you, so has less life experience and is more likely to believe the lies and be more likely and have more of a likelihood to be inclined to being naive and ignorant and lacking probably the mind to do research or to keep their ear open or question things. I mean, that's definitely coercion. That's not right at all. That's definitely manipulating. But, you live and you learn, and there's a lot of manipulators. And this is why you have to learn to fine tune your attention and your mind to protecting yourself, to guarding your heart, as the Bible says, and to being mindful that deception is real. People are deceitful. And, yeah. But never let a situation like that, something similar happened to me. I had a guy pretend to be 21. I was looking to have fun, get out the house. It was a weekend. My friends weren't around. I had money. I had a new bathing suit. I wanted to go swimming. And I literally, genuinely just wanted to link up and kick it and socialize. So I started a dating site for the first time. And dating sites suck. I just want to throw that out there. It's definitely suck. But anyway, I started a dating site, and this guy hits me up, and he even claimed to be a year younger than me. And at the time I was, 23. And so I was like, okay, he's younger than me, whatever. Cause I never had talked to guys younger than me either. So that was kind of weird. Although it was like 1 year, I personally was always attracted to older men, people older than me. But anyway, I found out before I went, something just told me, like, for some reason, I told him, send me a picture. And lo and behold, it was a totally different person. The guy was a lot older. He looked creepy. It was really creepy and stuff. So I totally understand that feeling. That's why I say, as a woman, have men around you. If you're going to deal with the dude longer than a few months or whatever, have men around you to vet him, because men don't fear women. Most men fear other men. So if you have a strong male presence in your life, it's going to kind of keep away the other bad presence of, the other bad guys, the men that come with the bad intentions who don't want to be held accountable. See, what you have to understand is there are plenty of people who will want to sleep with you, but not often enough that will be held accountable for what comes from that, whether it's emotions that you invest in getting entangled, babies. So this is why you should be wise and always keep a circle of people who genuinely care about you, that don't have ulterior motives and don't necessarily have anything to gain from it, such as older brothers or father figures or church members or even older women. The same thing, have seasoned women that can question things where you, being younger, may not consider and may not care to, or just don't know to. We all learn with time, and you will learn too. So don't feel discouraged. I would laugh at the situation. You definitely were sexually coerced, but what's done is done. I would laugh at the situation instead of allowing it to stop me from continuing to live. You have to keep living. We all go through different situations, some similar. But yeah, I see that you're questioning. You wrote, who am I going to talk to? Therapists, so they can question why I believed him. Call the police and ask for justice. There isn't any justice. I was of legal age and consented to the identity I thought I knew. It's my fault for being so foolish or not verifying anything he told me. It started becoming difficult to look in the mirror after I learned the truth. So that was the last of the situation part 2. And I would just like to say to the young woman who wrote that, if you ever hear this, don't let that stop you from living and growing and loving life. There are people that will be placed around you and people you encounter that are actually won't come with that type of energy and be deceptive and malicious just so they can sleep with you. And that guy definitely was a creep, and he definitely lied to you. That was definitely sexually coercive of him. But there is probably more than likely nothing you can do about it, because you can't send someone to jail for lying, especially when you're of age. Although ethically it was wrong, I don't think there's any legal thing you can do about it. So you have to keep living past that situation and that experience. I would like to add that if you find yourself in that situation, and if it is possible, take the proper precautions and measurements to maybe reach out to a lawyer or something and see if you can find an advocate for abuse, because maybe you can take it to court for emotional and mental abuse or psychological abuse, or distress, or someone who has caused you trauma, psychological trauma and distress. That there are laws to protect people also in those areas. Although you were of age, he still manipulated you. And yes, and obviously you're dealing with a lot of emotional, psychological trauma due to that situation. So there are laws in place to protect people in such situations. Once again, this is Nikki with the Sauce, and thank you for tuning in to another Relationship Forum Q&A. Until next time.